Welcome, everybody. It is episode 67. Can you believe we're at 67 already?
It's a good number.
It's a good number. It's a nice number. 67 of 55 and 5. Ian Riccaboni, Cary Silkin, AJ from Bisson Creative and Web Design. Man on the camera, man on the microphones. He helps us make this look nice and sound nice. And Cary, we're going to have fun today on our 5-minute history lesson based on a card from the 1955 Parkhurst set. We got an MSG headliner.
Okay.
But will you know the name, the alias he's using? Because it's not the name. It's not the name that's on your posters in your living room.
Okay.
And I think you will, but we'll see. There we go. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock with Uncle Gunny and Captain Lou. Here's our man of the hour today. Take a look. Champion bodybuilder, generally credited with having the best physique in professional wrestling in the 1950s.
Wait a minute. Don't show it to me.
Okay.
I bet you it's going to be under his proper name, Killer Kowalski.
No. Oh, good guess. We haven't got him. He's in the
physique,
set.
Body,
Physique. Yeah, he had a great physique, but was it as good
oh my goodness.
as Zorra? Now, do you know who Zorra is?
Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah, this one's tricky. MSG headliners the clue under a different alias. Would the name Hans Mortier?
Oh, yeah.
Hans Mortier ring a bell?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But I did not know him as Zorra.
Zorra?
And
yeah.
I'm glad. I'm looking forward to your safety net. Mm-hmm. As Hans Mortier, he was your classic German heel. Mm-hmm. He was in the old WWF.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he was in there in the 60s for sure.
Two separate big runs against Bruno.
And so lay it on me.
Yeah, kind of the original Superstar Graham. He was the body guy, and this is one of the great poses of the set, this full color, huge lats.
This tells, I'm interrupting, but now I know because he used to wear like the motorcycle, the leather.
Yeah, he used to wear the leather football helmet. Yep.
Because maybe he didn't want people to see his old noggin.
Well, because I'm fighting that as well, fighting the hands of time. Zorra went by a number of names, including Lord Charles Montague later on in his career, the Great Zorro, Zorra, Tarzan Zorro, Dutch Zorro, Dr. Death, and Mr. X. He wasn't the famous Mr. X, but he was a Mr. X nonetheless. He's from the Netherlands, came to the U.S. He was either a military policeman or a regular police officer who got sent from the Netherlands to stationed in the U.S. after World War II, which is kind of interesting. So I can't quite find the full story there, but he was sent from the Netherlands to the U.S. in some form of policing that occurred after World War II.
Okay.
So that's how he came here. He learned 5 languages while he was here. He learned English. He knew Dutch. He learned a couple other languages as well. One of the early professional bodybuilders. We saw the Mr. Canada before, but he's arguably in better shape or more phenomenal shape than that. And he starts in Tacoma, Washington, and then goes to Australia, South Africa, and France. It kind of wrestles here and there, but 1963 is when he heats up because he becomes Hans Mortier and wrestles. He has Wild Red Berry as his manager and wrestles 2-on-1 matches. That was his specialty on television at the time.
I'll have to ask Mike G, who's got a bad memory. Yeah. But this is like right in when he was starting to watch wrestling. I came in 66. So. Yeah.
Well, you saw him on the second go-round then, because he'd win the 2-on-1 matches. He would defend the European title, which was kind of like Dino.
I faintly remember that.
Yeah, it was kind of like Dino Bravo's Canadian title.
But he never would lose it.
No, never lost it, never physically had it either, much like Dino Bravo. And then from there, he was one of Bruno's first big challengers, did good houses.
Okay.
So, much like Superstar Graham later, when Bruno would come back in the 70s, big, strong heel. He couldn't quite beat him. He goes out. Interesting on how he goes out. You remember the short-lived Buddy Rogers comeback. After he loses the belt to Bruno, he very briefly comes back. And
I thought he was exiled, but go ahead.
Yeah, he had a handful of matches.
I still have to read the book.
He very famously, he's out the door. Buddy Rogers drop kicks him on the back before the bell rings. Zorra goes to the mat. Marty goes to the mat. Figure 4 over in a couple seconds. That's how they write him off the first time. He comes back with a new hold called the guillotine, which is just it's the full Nelson, and that's all it is. Beats Bobo Brazil in shocking fashion, much like Buddy Rogers beat him to send him off. He beats Bobo Brazil almost as quick.
At the Garden?
At the Garden. And that's how he makes his return. He's got a new hold. Ends his career in Crockett and IWE Japan as Mr. X, teaming with Red Bastien and Ox Baker in 1972. Hell
of a career.
Yeah.
Good selection.
It's interesting.
But I just never, the Zorra name, I didn't know.
Didn't use it long. It's amazing what you'll find in the set. Steve Jobs was the original Nikolai Volkov, and he was Nikolai Volkov longer than he was Steve Gobb. And so it's like that. Zorra, not as long as Hans Mortier. Mortier lasted quite a bit longer. So,
that was a good number 67.
Yeah, good number 67. We'll move on to 68 tomorrow. You can join us every weekday night from here on out at 8 p.m. Eastern, 55and5.com. That's where you get the playlist of all the episodes. You can catch up on ones you missed. You can check out the audio versions on adfreeshows.com. I'd like to thank AJ from Bisson Creative and Web Design for helping us put these together. We'd like to thank you for watching. Please join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the premiere of episode 68. And Cary, it's a man you guessed earlier this week. If you joined us yesterday, you'll know who we're talking about. Big time star in Canada. And a very interesting incident. Yeah, an incident that occurred. We'll talk about that tomorrow, right here on 55 and 5.